Hi everyone. Hi. Sorry for not being here for like forever. I don't know if you guys actually read my the post I left in the community on here. I was kind of trying to give a little bit of an update, but I couldn't give that much. I actually caught the chicken pox, and well, that's chicken pox. So according to my friend, according to the doctor, my son's doctor, he thinks I had the shingles. But apparently you can't have the shingles without having the chickenpox. So let's just say I had the chickenpox and my son had the chickenpox after me. So I was taking care of him and just a lot of stuff. And so I figured I'd try to start with reviews. I'm hoping that I'll be able to film some writing sprints also for this Saturday, Lord willing. But for now, today I'm gonna try to see if I can start with the reviews. And I thought instead of starting with one book, I'm gonna do a series that I listened to recently. It's actually the Lunar Chronicles. I actually heard about this series from a friend here, Nikki Florica. She also has a YouTube channel, and I heard about it again from Abby Emmons. She just briefly mentioned it in one of her videos, kind of like a reference, I guess. And so I got curious, and I usually listen to audiobooks instead of reading since I cannot read because of my disability. I'm visually impaired, for those who don't know. And well, I came across it on Audible. I was so excited. So I started listening to it, and I'm going to break it down a little bit. I might give details. I'm going to give details, not I might. I'm going to give details of a few of them, but bear in mind that the stories are long, so whatever I say, it's not really, to me, it's not going to be much of a spoiler because let's just say the third book is like 23 hours long in the audiobook, and they're all, that one is the longest one as far as I remember, but they're still pretty long, so I don't think it'll be too much of a big spoiler, but know that they will be a little bit of a spoiler, I guess, or hopefully not. Let's see. Okay, so they are retellings. They are retellings of fairy tales. So the first one is called Cinder, basically Cinderella, Cinder. The only thing is that this version of Cinderella is actually, she's half cyborg, and she's a mechanic. She actually fixes robots, or basically androids, or I guess kind of like herself, cyborgs or stuff too. I guess it's very different from the traditional Cinderella, and like there's like they do have the part of the ball where she goes to, I guess, like a ball, and it's not exactly a ball, but I guess it's kind of like a ball. But she doesn't exactly lose her glass slipper. I mean, I could pretty much imagine it before I was even told, but it was really weird and hilarious at the same time. It was so different and so cool at the same time, and it's not just about the whole. Cinderella is mostly about the whole her living with her stepmother and stepsisters who are evil to her, and she cleans after them, and then she goes to a ball. She meets this prince, sorry, not princess, prince at a ball, and then they fall in love with each other. They dance together. She loses her slipper, takes off, and then he looks for her. He looks for her to find who has the shoe, a foot that fits in the glass slipper. But this one is not exactly like that. It does have a little bit of Cinderella, but there's so much more to the story that doesn't really have to do with that. Like for instance, they have a like this disease. I forgot the name of the disease, but they have a disease that's like very contagious or something. It's been killing a lot of people or stuff, and so they do this part where, well, there's the lunar queen, Lavana. She's supposed to be evil according to everyone. Like that's what everyone knows about her, and so she pretends she has this facade of being good or whatever. So she's trying to get I think at that point he might be, well, he's trying to get the prince and the king, or not king, emperor, to basically marry her, so that I guess she wants to join the moon or whatever, the lunars and Earth, because I guess she wants some sort of power or whatever. But the point is, the point of this is that she kind of uses the fact that um, she has the cure, according to her. That's what she's telling him, that she has the cure, and that's supposed to be what she's going to use to try to see if he'll bargain, basically the life of his people for the marriage, because she is wicked. So that's the whole point of it. He has to decide, will he basically give up his will they give up everything just to save their people, basically. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm trying not to give too much details, but basically it's like a struggle there where he has to make a huge decision to basically and when I say he, I'm talking about the son. He has to give up basically all his life to not his life, you know what I'm saying. It's not like she's gonna kill him or anything. I mean, like he has to make this decision to either marry her and make her an empress, or just try to continue with his doctors and scientists trying to figure out the vaccine or the cure for that disease, which is killing a lot of people. It's really cool. It's got a lot of side stories besides the main one. There's a main character. There's a couple of main characters. There's about six. Let me see. There's about six main characters, I would say. Well, if you're not counting the prince, there's about six main characters between all the books. But in this one, I believe you meet one of the male characters. I'm not gonna say who, so you can read about that. Cinder's gonna meet one of the male characters, and then now we're gonna skip to the second one. The second book in the series is called Scarlet, which obviously she's one of the main characters. Also, her story is basically inspired, basically, or a retelling of Red Riding Hood. And of course, this one I wouldn't try to I'm not gonna try to block out who is the male character, because it's very obvious. Red Riding Hood, wolf. But it's very different, of course, because the story of Red Riding Hood is it's nothing like this one. The only thing about it is just the name. The name says a lot. Just his name says a lot. So that's all I'm gonna say, so that I won't spoil it for you. That one's really interesting too. And let me see this. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you much about that one, just because I think if I tell you a little more about that one would be more of a spoiler. And the third one would be Winter. That one I'll tell you a little bit about it. It won't be a spoiler, because that's the one I told you is about 23 hours. Winter is actually Levana's stepdaughter. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about her. She, according to everybody, they seem to think that she's crazy, because she kind of does say weird things randomly sometimes. But there's a reason to that, so I won't tell you, but there's a reason to that. Also, Levana does not like her stepdaughter Winter, because Winter is supposed to be very beautiful, and so to the point that I didn't tell you, Levana she's a lunar, of course, and all the lunars actually have this power, except for the shells. All the lunars have the power to actually manipulate people and even their lunars, to do to see them in a way they want to, and also to do whatever it is that they want to. So Levana actually forces her stepdaughter Winter to scratch her face. I don't know if I remember if it was with a fork or something, basically to injure herself, to leave a scar on her face, because she didn't want her stepdaughter to be prettier than her. And to all this, this was to no avail, of course, because she was still beautiful even though she had the scar. But yeah, Levana has this. I forgot to mention in the first one that Levana has this thing against Cinder. She doesn't know who is Cinder. Like she just actually came across her, and like she was trying to calm like a mob basically that was outside, that was trying to go against her when she visited Earth. Excuse me. And when that happened, sorry, it's a little late and I haven't taken a nap, which I usually do because of my son, my baby. Anyways, I was saying that yeah, Lavana has this thing where she can notice if somebody's not being manipulated by her power, and she was able to manipulate everybody except for Cinder. She manipulated her for like a brief moment, but since Cinder is half cyborg, she has this thing that allows her to see if there's something that's a lie, if somebody's telling a lie, and her blinker went off when Lavana was trying to trick her. So because of that, Lavana noticed that there was basically, I would say, an anomaly when she was trying to manipulate them. So this causes a big deal between her and the Emperor, you know. So that starts off the whole story, or the biggest part of that story, one of the two biggest parts of that story of Cinder. And also the second one, and also the third one. In the third one, there's another male character. Most of them started off with, I noticed all three of them have main female characters that meet up with male characters, and then eventually they join together. So there's 3 female characters and 3 male characters. They're like, well, they're in a team. They end up in a ship and everything together. So they're basically like part of a crew. And it's really cool. The whole story is really cool. Every book is really cool. I listened to all of them. Even the 23-hour book, I was like, I couldn't wait to like finish the book, but not because I wasn't tired of it or anything. I just wanted to hear what's going on, and because it's so, I was thinking, at first I was worried that it was so long. I was thinking, oh my god, 23 hours, oh my god. Because like the longest book that I've read so far before that, at that time, was 17 hours, and or basically listened to, which is Redeeming Love, by the way. That's my next review. Look out for that one. That one's by Francine Rivers. And yeah, that one was 17 hours, and this one said 23, so I was a little worried, but the book was so good. It just so good that it didn't feel like it was 23 hours. And then I was actually looking for more, and there's two more side stories. Stars Above, which I already have that one. I have to start listening to that one once I finish writing my stories that I had to write. And then there's another one, which is the backstory of Queen Lavana. So anyways, I recommend the series. It's really good, really interesting. I think it's young adult, for young adults, but I think anybody can listen to it. I don't remember there being anything inappropriate. They might mention something that one of the characters was looking at in the first book. I don't think that I heard of anything else that may be inappropriate. I think pretty much anybody can listen to it if you don't mind that first part, which is closer, probably like 3, 4, and 3. Let me see. I don't know, like 3/4 into the book, I guess it would be. But yeah, other than that, the whole book, anybody can listen to it. It's really good. You should listen to it. Go ahead and get that, whether it's the books or the audiobooks. Go ahead, check that out. And I hope that you enjoyed this book review, or this series of 3 books. And I hope that you'll stick around for the next review. All right, you have a good day, and God bless you.